Bosch Series 6 WGG 254F 1GB 10 kilo machine, £549. This is better than a cartoon comic. The drum is £493. Hi, welcome to How to Repair. In recent videos I have made some serious statements with regards planned obsolescence in washing machines, and they have triggered thousands of comments and emails to me. Today I'm not simply defending those claims, I'm going to prove them. In this one video I am going to categorically prove that companies like Bosch, Siemens, AEG, Hoover, Hotpoint, Indesit, Zanussi, just to mention a few, are building obsolescence into every appliance today and designing them to fail just outside of the warranty period. First, let me explain why I'm doing this video. This Bosch washing machine is a great performing machine. Great wash, great functions, everything about it is good. But when the manufacturer goes out of their way to build in obsolescence outside of the warranty period, something has to be done about it. The consumer magazines and the governing bodies only seem to be caring about the energy consumption and the water that these machines save, and they do not care that it is totally unrepairable outside of the warranty period because the company is building obsolescence into the appliance. Now, as every engineer will tell you, the three reasons why a machine may be written off or uneconomic to repair are the washing machine sealed drum fails, the motor fails, or the printed circuit board fails. This led me to do some investigation with regards Bosch, and I went over to Currys, a large superstore in the UK, and they had multiple different Bosch washing machines on display. I wrote down all the model numbers and came back to the workshop to investigate the prices with regards to these machines, and you are not going to believe what they are charging on their own website for these components. The first thing you need to understand is the cost of the new sealed drum compared to the old drum, which was splittable. And I want to silence you critics that have been sending comments in and supporting the manufacturers, saying that they need to save money. And I suspect a lot of it is AI generated, but I'm going to get into that later in the video. Both drums are assembled on a production line, and they're normally assembled by robots, and I've seen this. The old drums were actually put together with approximately 10 to 12 of these screws. These are actually Bosch screws that assembled the front half to the back half. And all you have is a seal, and the screws would actually join the two together. The new drums are exactly the same process, apart from they go into a plastic welding machine. They're glued and welded on the outside, so the two halves of the drums are not able to be separated. You would have to cut the drum apart to actually get access into the bearings and spider. Now, when it comes to the components, a lot of manufacturers do use basically the same bearings, but they may vary in size and design, but the costings are pretty similar. And remember, the prices I'm going to give you now are retail. This is what you can go and buy from any online shop at the moment. I took a Beko washing machine sealed drum and I split it the other day for another video. And I managed to find the two bearings and the seal. The seal for the Beko washing machine was £1.90 retail. The back bearing, which is a standard bearing, not a top of the range or anything else, just a normal budget bearing, and that was £4.50. The front seal is a little bit more complicated because it's called a sealed bearing. This means it's got a seal protecting the rollers inside from water, and this bearing cost £5 to buy. Now, one of the other components that would fail would be the spider on the drum. Now, these can vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, but knowing the prices of what the old spiders used to be, you would be paying somewhere between £25 and £40 for a spider if it had failed. But if the spider was still in good condition, the only thing you would need to replace is the bearings, which would cost you about £15 to £20 in total. But the new machines, you can't even gain access to the bearings because you have to cut the drum apart. Ludicrousy. Now let me show you what a manufacturer is charging for their sealed drums, their printed circuit boards, and I will also put the cost of the motors on there as well. But I am pleasantly surprised that motor costs have come down because they are using induction motors now. Instead of carbon brush motors, they use a lot less copper, and therefore the prices have come down. And the motors very rarely fail on new washing machines today. It is pretty much only the printed circuit board that fails, or the actual drum. Okay, I've made an actual slideshow for you with all 10 machines that Currys had in stock, and I did some research on each machine to bring up the 3 major components: the drum, the motor and the printed circuit board. Do the maths yourself, and this is forgetting the rest of the machine completely. Bosch Series 4 WAN 28259GB, 9 kilo machine, 1400 spin, retail price £499. The drum is £360. The PCB is £201 and the motor is £133. Bosch Series 6 WGG 254 Z1GB, 10 kilo machine, 1400 spin speed, retail price £649. The drum is 312 quid, the PCB is 206 and the motor is 133. I suspect most of these machines are using the same motor, by the way. Bosch Series 6 WGG 254F 1GB, IDOS, anti-stain, 10 kilo machine, £549. This is better than a cartoon comic. The drum is £493. The PCB £172. The motor again £133. Bosch Series 6 WIW 2830GB, 8 kilo machine, £699, and the drum for this is £368. PCB 220 and the motor again 133. Bosch WAN 28258GB, 8 kilo machine, and this is £479, and the drum for this machine, remember this is £479 for the machine and the drum is £360. You know what the cost of the components are in these machines. PCB £201, motor £133. Bosch Series 6 WGH 254 a 0GB IDOS system, anti-stain, Wi-Fi enabled, 10 kilo, 1400 spin speed, expensive machine, £899. The drum is £275. The PCB actually gone down in price, £166. The motor is £133. Tell me now if they are removing the right to repair. Are they making these machines so expensive when it comes to components like drums? And bearings are going to fail over a certain amount of usage. They can actually tell how long a bearing will last nowadays. Computers can analyse how many rotations that bearing will do before it fails. But you're not able to replace the bearings, you have to replace the whole drum, and the manufacturer dictates the price. Something needs to be done about this. And can someone explain to me in the comments, how is it that the Northern Hemisphere seems to be the manufacturers that are producing the sealed washing machine drums, but yet the Southern Hemisphere, companies in Asia like LG, Samsung, Daewoo, just to mention a few, are still producing drums that are splittable? When you consider that these manufacturers produce for the Indian market, the African market, the Asian market, as well as the Northern Hemisphere, a lot of those customers are not in a financial position to replace the machines every couple of years. Is it that they think in the Northern Hemisphere that we have so much disposable money that we do not deserve the right to repair? And what is even more amazing, these manufacturers started to do this within 12 to 18 months of each other. Some manufacturers even left the screw holes in around the drum, but weld the two halves together. It was as if they had a meeting and decided to do this all together. And so many companies in the UK and Europe who supply domestic appliance parts have chosen to keep their mouths shut with regards to this subject. This is because we are reliant on the manufacturers supplying us the parts to sell to you. I could only find one other company on the internet who had had the guts to print an article about this issue, and I take my hat off to one of my competitors called UK White Goods. They wrote a very comprehensive article on this very subject, and I will put the link in the description below for you. Now let me quickly talk about some of the comments that have come through on previous videos and also videos about new technologies. I have seen a lot of stuff coming through from user accounts who have no history whatsoever, but some of the comments, in my opinion, are very suspect. Although I can't prove this yet, AI and phone farms are being used to sway influence in social media towards politics, selling products, or just influencing users on many different aspects. And I honestly believe now that this technology is used on YouTube videos to leave comments, but I have no proof of this yet, and it must be awfully hard for YouTube to govern. I'm really sorry I had to put this video together, but someone has to stand up to the way things are being done today. This is not correct and needs to be changed. Thank you very much indeed for watching this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you wish, and remember you can always support the website by either buying the parts off us, or you can click on the Buy Paula Beer page and donate to the website. Thanks very much indeed for watching.